the deal with meats, and I need y'all to understand that this on a spiritual level. Going on a spiritual level. I'm talking to you about the spiritual level, the health level, and all that other stuff. But what you have to recognize is that, as I said, as spiritual entities, we do not die. And there are spiritual entities in everything that you eat, whether it be vegetables, fruits, or meats. There are spiritual entities in them. And when you eat them, you take on the properties of the spiritual entity that you have digested. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Some of y'all, I want y'all to go look up this term. And I give you all these terms so you can go and research them for yourself. Do not believe what I'm saying. Do not believe a word that I'm saying. I give you these terms so you can go and look up. You can research them. This room is for mature people. All right? Even though y'all hear what I'm talking about. This is why if they think this is deep, imagine what you get in the university. So again, for some of y'all, you might be offended. If you're offended, you know what you can do? You can bite these nuts. These nuts right here are natural salted nuts by dropping jewels. Bite these nuts, all right, if you're offended. But to my mature people, or you can find a link in the bio, by the way, so you can bite these nuts. And we do have chocolate covered nuts. We got spicy these nuts. Find a link in the bio. All right, so let me continue, because we're just talking about the facts, okay? When we're talking about meats, when you eat these meats, you're taking on the property of the being that you have eaten. So you all may have heard the term kosher killing, K-O-S-H-E-R, killing. What a kosher killing is when they make sure that the cow does not know it's about to die. Why are they doing that? They don't want to scare the cow. They don't want to make the cow think that it's about to be harmed. They don't want to do any of that. Why? Because when you do that, the cow is going to secrete hormones into its blood. And so when it secretes these scary, fearful hormones into its blood, and then you eat it, then you take on the properties of that cow, that scary, fearful cow, or that scary, fearful chicken, or scary, fearful pig. You're eating these things. So when you go to the grocery store, and yeah, you're like, well, I cooked it, and I fried up out of. There are spiritual entities, they don't die. They are always living. And just because the flesh, as I told you, the flesh will die, will decease or expire, but the cells, there are entities in the cells that don't ever die. What they say, energy is created. It cannot be created nor destroyed. It just goes into a different form. It just goes into a different form. So when you're eating this cow or these chickens or these pigs, and let's understand, these cows, they know full well they're about to die. As a matter of fact, there's a video that I saw, it was a documentary, and how they will pick the cow up by its head in front of all the other beings, and then they'll chop his head off in front of all the other cows. And the other cows, because they weave them into this weaving straight. You know how like you in the when you go into the airport and you got to go around and then they weave you through that. That's what I feel like when I'm in the airport, like one of these cattle farms. And then they're standing in line and they have them so clogged up that they can't get out. But when they pick up the cow at the front of the line, they pick him up and they chop his head off right there in front of all the other cows. And if you think those cows don't know what they're looking at, they're crying. Those cows are, and they can't move, they can't get out. They've been weaved into this system so that they can now be slaughtered. Oh yeah, this is that adult topic that I'm talking about that somebody is upset about. Yeah, there's no accident. Thank you, Infin. There's no accident that the airport is designed that way. So here you got these cows that are, now they're upset. They're sad, they're scared, they're fearful. And then once they get their heads chopped off, you can ready to eat all of those hormones that are in that cow. And then you wonder what's happening? You scared and you nervous all the time. You've taken on the properties of the cow that you're eating, of the pig and the chicken and whatever else you're eating. You've taken on its properties because those hormones have been secreted into its blood. On top of that, on another spiritual level, you got to recognize that we as spiritual entities are constantly meeting up with each other again. Constantly. Again, we don't die as spiritual entities. We just see the spiritual entity again at another time in another vessel. And because we don't understand the true nature of how we are all one, that's the universal law that I talk about. Because we don't understand the true laws, universal laws, you all can go and find this in the UNA beginner law book. But because we don't understand the true nature of how we are all one, we don't recognize that the people who we meet up in our dimension, we've met them before. Your mother, you knew your mother before. You knew your father, your sister, your brothers, your cousins, even your husband, your boss, your co-workers. These strangers that you see out here, you've met them before. You just don't remember them. You don't recognize how this dimension is working. But we talk about that in the university when we get more deeper into the mature side of what's going on in this game. So we're all meeting up. When you're talking about the albions versus the melanated people, we've all met up before. And we go into that in the university about how we're all one, how we've met up with them. It's not just happenstance that the albions are treating melanated people a certain way because the melanated people met them before and treated them the same way. Pay attention. Pay attention. Universal laws. They are always in effect. We've met up with the Albion before. Melanated people actually ruled the United States of America. The United States of America was created by melanated folk. They'll tell you that, but I show you proof. Okay, why is that important? What does that have to do with here? You got to understand that people are using cows to feed off of them. There's another group of beings that are feeding off of humans. And you got to recognize that when you're feeding off of these beings, at some point, it's got to change. Those spiritual entities get to feed off of you. Y'all not understanding what I'm saying? Put it in the comment section if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that the lion and the gazelle, they're on the same vibratory frequency. It seems like, oh, that poor gazelle. This poor gazelle over here, and the lion, just a big old bully eating the gazelle. They're going to meet up again. And the situation is going to be reversed. Where whatever spiritual entity is inside of that gazelle is going to be feeding off of whatever spiritual entity this lion is now. The situation is going to reverse. It always does. So be aware of what it is you're feeding off of. Because whatever it is that you are destroying, well, it's got to come back. And it gets to feed off of you. I know you don't get it right now, but this is a spiritual thing. This is why I stay away from meat. That's just one of the two. I told you, for one, because of the hormones in it and how it's going to have you acting. Two, because of the spiritual connotation or repercussion behind eating these beings. Three, you don't have no clue what the ham sandwich they putting in that cow. All of the chemicals that they're putting into. I saw this documentary of this guy. He screwed off some top and he stuck his hand through that thing. It was on the cow, by the way. He stuck his hand into the stomach of the cow and started mixing around the stuff inside the cow's belly with his hand. Cows don't grow up with something stuck to their side and then somebody screws it off and then stick their hand into their stomach. Are you kidding me? You couldn't pay me to eat that. Who knows what the world they have put into all the chemicals and the hormones. Okay, steroids. That's another reason why you want to stay away from that. All right.